And sometimes you just have to stop what you're doing and just take your own personal praise break. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout now. And you know what? In my spirit, I have been shouting because I know mine's on the way. Mine is on the way. And I want you all to declare that right now, wherever you are, in your car, at the store, in the line of wherever you are. If you're listening at home in the living room, I just want you all to say, mine's on the way, because I don't know what yours is, but my breakthrough, my financial breakthrough, my mental breakthrough, my business breakthrough, everything that I claim is on the way. And you have to believe that. Believers, you got to believe it in the very depth of your soul that yours is on the way. I don't know what yours is, but I am thanking God for you. I'm going to celebrate for you because yours is on the way. Y'all know what today is. It is absolutely Wednesday, Brunch Bunch time. And you all know who I am, the queen of the sauce, Charmaine from Uncle Remus Salsa Fried Chicken. It's Chit Chat Wednesday. And I'm also excited because my guest that's coming down later in the hour at 12:40, I need you all to listen. Y'all know what I say every week. Call your friends, text your frenemies, unblock them, text them. Tell them that this lady that I have coming on later on at about 12:40 is going to bless your soul. Her story of resilience, I have followed. I have watched her grow herself personally as well as her brand to a whole nother level, and it will bless you personally, and it will bless you in business if you want to bring your brand to the next level. She will be here later on in the hour to just talk her story and talk business with us, because y'all know what I do every Wednesday: bring you news that you can use, bring you resources, give you opportunity to have the ability to tap into these resources. And that's what I love to do. I love to share what I know. You know, I have a saying that I want to die empty, and some people don't really understand when I say that. I'm not ready to go now, no way, no how, but I love to tell everyone everything that I know. I love to share. I love to help people. I love to, just give people what they need to keep going, because you know what, sometimes we all need that push. And when I say die empty, whatever I know, I want you to know if it's going to help you. I don't have any isms or schisms or any malice, or I'm coveting what I know, or I'm jealous of you. That is just not who I am, and I thank God that I am not that way, because I am put on this earth to be a chosen vessel to help. I choose to help, and I am always excited to help, and I am always excited to be here every Wednesday and any other time that I can be here. This show here blesses so many people. We have helped so many people. We have given people the ability to just say, I can do it. And therefore, we are always happy to be here every day. And I am happy to be a part of the Brunch Bunch on Wednesdays for Chit Chat Wednesday. So listen, you all, don't go anywhere, because as always, we have so much more to share. Please tell everybody it's Brunch Bunch time, and see ya after the break. Well, you know what, Marcel? Today's OPB segment is really about a great growing business that is on the move. And the name of that business is Uncle Remus Salsa Fried Chicken. I decided to feature my own self for my OPB segment today.
I love it.
Well, you know what? I am having a job fair. This is the first time I've done this. I'm having a job fair because I need employees. I need people that are thing. Yes, definitely.
You're not laying people off, you're hiring folks.
Hiring, and I need quite a bit of help, and the job fair is going to be at each location. So the greatest thing is I have 4 locations, and all of them are hiring.
Woo!
Absolutely.
Won't he do it? Won't he do it?
He will. So listen, I know that you can go to our website at uncleremususa.com/jobs. Our first job fair is going to be this Sunday, March 7th, at the Broadview location. That's 1801 Roosevelt Road. That's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And listen, we do have a little criteria now. I need you to not wear any gym shoes, no jeans, no T-shirts. because we want
So
you
I
to
can't
come.
come in
No,
my
absolutely
outfit today.
not the way you dress today. But we want you to really come prepared because my business is a brand, and I want you to appreciate that business. And then on the Saturday, March 13th, we're going to be at the Bronzeville, the 47th location, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then on Sunday, March 14th, we'll be at the Bolingbrook location, which is 339 North Weber Road. And all those times are 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And if you're interested, we're hiring right on the spot. We have great benefits. You get free meal, you can get free chicken. And we have leadership training.
Free chicken when you come out to apply.
Absolutely.
I'm bringing my resume.
Thank you. Thank you. You the man with 25 jobs. But, and opportunities for advancement. Because the reality of it is that I need leaders. I need people that really want to grow, and I have great training if you want to grow personally and professionally. And then, you know what, Marcella, I was thinking about how people look down or something like that on people who are like, oh, that's just a chicken restaurant. You're just working at a chicken restaurant. But I was reading earlier before I got here that a lady who's the first black lady in the state of Michigan to own an Outback Steakhouse, which I like me some Outback. I like me some Outback.
And it's Women's History Month.
And it's
That's
Women's
dope.
History Month. As a matter of fact, I need to reach out to her.
Yeah.
And but she started as a server there. So she had been employed there almost 20 years and just said, hey, I want something better. And they have a great leadership training as well. And you know what? I want my employees to know that, guess what? They can have themselves an Uncle Remus as well.
I love that. I love You know what? And we kind of discussed this too. Just business owners, and I know sometimes we want legacy businesses and we want our kids and our family to take over, but they're just not always interested. And if we can take people that are working with us and help them to advance to be able to own a piece of the company. Chick-fil-A has a great program like that. And I'm waiting on that. Young Brothers just opened the new Chick-fil-A in South Loop.
Yes.
I talked to them, but with them being so corporate, you have to go through corporate before they'll do the interview.
Yes.
But Charmaine, kudos to you because I think that's an amazing opportunity when you could be 16 working a summer job and by the time you're 26 owning a franchise.
Owning because and a lot of people say, oh, you only have 4 stores, 5 stores. What's taking you so long to franchise? And a lot of people, that's a whole nother conversation. But to do a franchise right, it takes time. And there's a right way, there's a wrong way, and then there's a way for people to say, hey, I have a great idea, buy all of my buy into my stores. But I'm building a brand with brand recognition and just that infrastructure to help you because I want you to be happy when you pay me a percentage every week off the gross, you know what I'm saying? And so I am intentionally taking my time to build a brand to begin to franchise. But it is something that is definitely on the way. But in the meantime and in between time, we're hiring. And guess what? I need leaders. I need shift supervisors. I need assistant managers. And I had someone do an industry study. And I'm not going to say what it is, but I exceed the industry. And I'm like, oh, whoa. But I don't mind paying you that because I feel that you should be paid your worth. But I am not, that ma and pa store on the corner. I am a brand that pay you for your worth. So we are hiring. Go to our website, Uncle Remus USA /jobs and begin your career. And guess what? Like you say, you may be owning an Uncle Remus sometime in the future. So that is my OPB segment.
Well, make sure it'll be posted on our social media pages. Absolutely. And we'll make sure it's on the website, brunchbunch.com, thebrunchbunch.com. And we want to see as many people out there.
Absolutely, because we're hiring, so don't let anybody tell you.
Will you be doing some on the spot hiring?
On the spot hiring. I am in need
of
employees.
I love those type of job fairs.
We want to make sure that they're right for the brand. Yes. So you know what? Again, we're hiring Uncle Remus USA /jobs. You're listening to the Brunch Bunch.
The alphabets. There are 2 letters in the alphabet that I have yet to learn how to grasp and use more often, and those letters are N and O.
Okay.
And so out of 26, it is 26 letters of the alphabet, right?
Yeah, and yours. No, it is. It really is.
So you know what? And my therapist, the Hyde Park therapist who joins us, and I was thinking about this all morning, because I kind of had a blow up this morning with some people very close to me, and I realized, you know what? It's not their fault. it's my fault. Because I have to learn to say no, and I won't get overwhelmed. Now, the high part therapist told me, and she mentioned on the show, saying no to yourself is saying no to someone else is saying yes to yourself. And I know there's a lot of believers listening, and sometimes as people, we just get so caught up, and we don't want to tell people no. We don't want to say, no, I'm busy, or no, I got something going, because we want people to say, okay, he got my back, or, and sometimes it's healthy to say no because it sets boundaries and people know what to expect and what to ask you. And I'm learning, so I want to just kind of talk about that on the air because I have to learn to say no, and I know I'm not the only one.
This ain't your therapy session, just so you know.
But let me just say this. Saying no doesn't mean avoiding. So your avoidance can't be like, that's a no. You have to just
you have to just flat out say no.
Because people's assumptions that, he just can't get back with me, or they just can't get back with me, so that doesn't mean a no.
No.
But you need to firmly say no.
Yeah, because I know how to ignore, but that's easy. Ignoring is easy. Saying no is the hard part.
No is finite.
No is finite. No is saying, because sometimes, you know what, and I'm guilty of this. And that's why I told you this was about you. Because Tammy did ask me to do something. And I just immediately said, yes, I can do it. But I didn't look to see what I had going on. And then it's like, dang, now I got to call Tammy back and say, I'm busy at this time. But then I felt bad. Like, Tammy going to be mad at me. And I'm like,
Tammy keep it moving. Just
I know.
So you know.
Look, I know.
So
but
will everyone else.
But most people, that's what I'm talking about. Most people that are like me, think that by saying no,
you might not like me anymore.
Yeah, they may hurt somebody's feelings, or they may never ask again, or but it's not true, because people tell me no all the time, and guess what? I don't look at them any differently. I call them again on another occasion and say yes, but I have that issue with just saying, immediately like, yep, I can do it, but then I get spread very thin. And
I want to be thin. Somebody call and ask me a bunch of stuff.
You need to take liquid lipo. But no, so nevertheless, so I just wanted to encourage some believers, because I do know, especially in the church, when you're working in church, when your pastor or leaders are asking you to do stuff in the ministry, you never want to say no, because you're like, if I'm saying no to the pastor, now I'm saying no to God sometimes. But no, that's not true.
Separate.
Yeah, they are very much.
But I don't remember what I asked you to do. I'm mad now.
Well, I'm going to therapy, so by the time you get mad, I'll be okay. No, I'm joking. But I just thought that I should kind of touch on that, because I'm not the only one that deals with this.
People are people pleasers.
Yes.
And it's not a bad thing, but it can become a cumbersome.
Not my girl Toy. If you ask Toy something, she'll say no first before you finish the sentence.
Well,
but it works for her.
I think for me, because of my political aspirations at one point, and in the community, and I'm like, I always tell people, like Brother Malcolm, well, I can't be mean to people, because one day I may run for senator, or I may run for that, and I need these people to be happy with me. But I almost said to H or all that, but to heck with all of that, because at this point, people will like you regardless if you say no or if you say yes. You have to just stay steadfast and unmovable. And the worst thing you can do is just ignore somebody or push it under, because sometimes people don't say no, they just avoid it or don't answer or don't get back to people, and that makes it worse.
Helping you. That should have been you preaching to yourself right there.
Yeah, well, that's why I was preaching to her. But look, the therapist is probably listening, and she's going to put me on blast. I never go to none of the sessions, but we do go to lunch from time to time, and that's
not therapy.
It's almost as good as therapy. Right,
with snacks. Well, I just want to say that when you are pouring out of an empty glass, you're no good for anybody. So when you overload yourself, you really don't do anyone a service. You do them an injustice, and mainly the person that you do the injustice is you. And so when you're thinking that you're people pleasing, it's not how you please people. It's about how you please God.
That's it.
And I just told my daughter today, don't be cheap with yourself, but be real with yourself as well.
Yeah.
Get yourself a time budget, because that's just as important as a financial budget, and stick with that time. If it falls outside of that frame of time that you have allocated, then you definitely have to put some time in there for emergencies. But if it falls out of that frame of time, then you don't have time for it. And if you can't do it, say you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah.
And say it. And that's why I'm learning.
That's
and
great.
Somebody told me the other day, I was driving in on the phone on a call, and she was like, well, Marcel, do you use Calendly? And I said, yeah, it's on my site for people to book. She said, no, you have to use it consistently. She said, anytime somebody calls me and say, hey, when can we get together? She said, I send them my link. And they can pick a time on my calendar. So now it's booked in the calendar.
Yes.
And she said, that helps me to maintain time. And then the calendar, I've already carved out what time I want to be able to talk on the phone this day for 2 hours, this day for an hour. So, I'm getting better with the time management because...
That's a great resource.
Yeah, it is. Because, listen, I'm talking...
You're busy.
I'm
You're legitimately busy.
I'm like, you know what? I was going to put a status up last night. Like, when people say, you ain't that busy. I'm like, no. I am busy from this project on Chicago Avenue to a new office and new to closing on an investment property to being the general contractor on a house to just business. And I'm like, but I'm just going to learn to
busy and blessed.
Say no because I'm busy and blessed.
And believers, you all are a blessing to us.
The Supreme Court is weighing whether to further gut the Voting Rights Act and its protections against racial discrimination, all because y'all listen this time. The court is hearing arguments about 2 Arizona laws that restrict voter access and could further gut the remains of the Voters' Rights Act. As you know, the Voters' Rights Act was enacted with the sole purpose of ending racial discrimination in voting. You also may recall in history that it took a lot of effort, a lot of people died for you to have the right to vote. Well, 2020 election did the daggone thing, okay? So number one, the 2 things that remain in the Voting Rights Act is 1, it requires the election officials to throw out ballots cast at the wrong precinct. That's what's on the chopping block right now. And number 2, to strictly limit who can collect and deliver someone else's ballot. Everybody is going crazy about this. The Republicans, mind you, made the laws to have easier access for voters to vote. They're the ones who actually enacted absentee voting, mail-in voting, drop box ballot, and early voting. Well, Sunday voting is kind of called, what do they call that? Souls to the polls. Yeah, you've heard of that, right?
Yeah.
Souls to the polls. That's usually allocated for Sundays. Well, now they don't want souls to the polls. They don't want nobody to the polls. But the central parts of the election law, dating back to the civil rights struggles of the 1960s, the Voting Rights Act appeared to be in jeopardy. And this past Wednesday, all over, it's about 33 states that are re-evaluating because they flipped Georgia, and that hadn't happened since 1992. Well, guess what? There are more things that are about to flip because we ain't going back,
we
y'all.
Flip the
yes.
tables.
But
let me ask you this. Isn't the voting right, isn't that the only legislation that keeps coming up so that we can continually have
many years,
our right to vote?
Well, in
They're not
2013,
even talking about abolishing that and just making it permanent.
well, what happens is they've been chipping away at the protections that were incorporated into the Voting Rights Act. And so that's where you got a lot of the voting suppression came from. So the voter suppression methods were adding new roadblocks to voter registration and purging citizens from the voting rolls. And a lot of people, myself included, went to my polling place. My name wasn't on the ballot. All of a sudden, they put my name on my brother's property's address. I was like, I never lived there. I never even got an email there. I barely even visited there. So if you were following me and you thought that was where I lived, you monked up. So they closed hundreds of polling places in black communities without warning, and then imposing new and stricter voter ID laws. Remember, you used to have to show your ID in order to vote. Well, all of this was to design a government by the few, for the few. But guess what? We ain't going back. Now, I want to switch lanes for a second because it is extremely important in Black history, in American history, period, to talk about a man who epitomized elegance, class, and accomplishment. That is none other than Vernon Jordan, who actually has passed. He was a key advisor in the Clinton administration, the Obama's administration, and many, many more. He was born in Atlanta, Georgia, the flip state that's got all the people going crazy, in 1935, and he was the second son of 2 boys. He lived and came from the projects, y'all, but he was in rooms that very few people go in. He was advising top talent in the world, and from humble beginnings. During his career, he recruited millions of new Black voters that were elected, and then resulted in Black people being elected in the South in unprecedented numbers. So after the death of Whitney Young, then Jordan was named the 5th president of the National Urban League, and this high-profile position got him shot by a white supremacist, Joseph Paul Franklin. Now, Joseph Paul Franklin was never prosecuted, but later he was put to death for another murder that he committed. He said, and I'm saying he, Vernon Jordan said to Ebony magazine when he got shot, "I'm not afraid and I won't quit until his dying day." He did not quit. So thank you for your contribution. Our prayers, thoughts are out to the Jordan family. And actually, he married a Chicago, at the time of his death, he was still married to this Chicago woman, Ann Dibble Cook. A lot of people know her in this town. Yeah. So we are much better off, particularly in the voting and civil rights area, for having Vernon Jordan in our midst and all of his hard work.
Thank you for that tribute, because I'm sure some of the believers didn't even know of his contribution.
He moved quietly.
So
he was real stealth
when
with
you
it.
said, did you say debonair? Did you use that debonair
I
word?
did not. I said
that
man, class, grace, and accomplishment. Yes.
Can I add debonair?
Yes. You didn't even know he was there unless you saw his hat.
Absolutely. Tall.
Yes.
Nicely dressed all the time. Moved in silence, but with power.
Guess what else? He's a Howard University grad.
Whoop, whoop. My alma mater.
In your mind.
In my mind.
In your mind. In your mind. Because you said that, we're going to let you stay in your mind. And talk to that therapist, because you got a lot of stuff in your mind you need to get out of your mind. Yes. Believers, we are always giving you news that you can use, and sharing things that you didn't know, because you know why? We love you here on the Brunch Bunch. And most important announcement. Go take it away, Marcel.
Listen, DJ Brandon Barker, one of our loyal listeners, a member of the Answer Inc., you all know, with Deborah Vines, does a live Facebook set, a DJing set. And we need all of you to blow his Facebook up. We need you to support him. He's doing that live Monday night. Okay. I read it wrong. It's Monday, 7:45 to 8:45. DJ Brandon Barker. Make sure you tune in.
Absolutely, because you know what? He's an overcomer, and he has not let any obstacle in life slow him down. Same with my guest. I am just so delighted to have my girl Q Johnson here, and I started that segment about being an overcomer, and we are all overcomers. We've overcome something in life, but sometimes when tragedy hit, blow after blow after blow, and you consider yourself still blessed in the midst of it, I want to applaud that. And I know it's the Women's History Month, and when I spoke with her briefly yesterday, I said, I know Women's History Month, people, you know, you want to celebrate great women who have made history and done wonderful things. I just called her and said, I wanted to celebrate you on today, because you are an overcomer. She is a best-selling author. She is part of this great book called 26 Stories, One Pandemic. And she is also the CEO of the Brand Surgeon and 529 Management. But the reason I want her to be on to start this segment is to talk about this 26 Stories, One Pandemic, because we've all lost someone close to us, and we know that the virus has touched many close to us, but when it touches a parent, it hits differently. But Q overcame and kept striving through that. So, Q, I want to first say I'm glad that you're here, and I celebrate you.
Woo, 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 woo.
We celebrate you. Are you there?
Oh my God. I I'm like, who is this wonderful person you guys are talking about? Charmaine, you are so, all of you guys. I love the whole Brunch Bunch movement. You guys are amazing, and just thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Q. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So talk about first just how the pandemic hit you and what you did during it all.
2020 was interesting to say the least, and that's the nicest way I can put it without being, how a lot of us are really, really feeling. In addition to the pandemic, March of 2020, I almost lost a cousin to a metro train accident who actually broke every bone in her face.
Wow.
And went through multiple reconstructive surgeries. 30 days later, my cousin, who was also raised, my mother raised, he was my brother, he was killed in Harvey, and he was shot 30 times.
Wow.
9 months, 6 days later, my mother actually lost her battle to COVID, which was January 28th of 2021. But what happened was my mom was actually on a ventilator for 56 days before she made her transition with the Lord.
Wow.
Wow.
And in the midst of all of this, we were in the process of actually writing the book. So when I sent my actual chapter to my publisher, and shout out to Joan Wright Good Publishing, Joan was like, "Shoot, we got to edit." And I said, "You know what? We're right. You're right, because when my chapter was complete, my mom ended up going on a ventilator 6 days later." The book actually launched January 4th, 2021, and she passed 3 weeks later. So this chapter still continues.
Absolutely.
When tragedy strikes, triumph is around the corner.
Around the corner. And you, great segue, Tamara, for that, because in the midst of this tragedy, you triumphed in your business. You never stopped promoting your business, helping people promote their brand. As you told me last night, a lot of these people on Instagram, they don't even know Q Johnson is the engine behind that. So talk about that, how you just kept focused and resilient through this.
First and foremost, one thing about Kathy Johnson, which is the matriarch to my life, the vessel that I came through, she's a G. Let's be clear. And she raised the G. So I always hear my mom in my head like, it is what it is, but you got to keep it moving. And I use that with me every single day. And a lot of my clients was like, "Why are you calling me on business?" Even in the midst of planning my mother's final arrangements, my clients would get so upset with me, like, "Why are you calling me?" Because we have deadlines. At the end of the day, 529 Management is a business. We are a lifestyle branding and brand management company. And I understand that tragedy happens. But one thing, like I was telling you last night, Charmaine, that I noticed, the world doesn't stop. The world doesn't stop. Even though one person is suffering, the earth continues to rotate. The sun comes up, it goes down, the moon comes out. It doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And I believe that God puts us in these positions
to
see if we're going to obey, to see if we're going to remember that He is the Alpha Omega, He is the Creator, He is the beginning and the end, and we have to remember that He's our Father.
Yep.
We're His children. And I feel like I was being tested in a time where I have multiple 7-figure clients on the table, and it's like, so Q, what are you going to do? So we kept it moving. We were producing projects. Let me tell you guys something. I was crying and grinding.
I love that. And Q, I know that you've been grinding. We've seen you all over the place. And you are loved, because just yesterday, Deborah Vines called me and asked, could we have you on the show as a guest? So it's like, look, everybody wants to hear your story. And so tell the listeners about 529 Management, because we've reached out here on the Brunch Bunch. You're going to be doing some work with us with billboards, and you get your clients on TV. Tell the listeners, what does 529 Management do?
Yes. 529 Management, first and foremost, you guys, 529 West 58th Street, Chicago, Illinois, 60621, in the Inglewood neighborhood. That's where it all began. So it's only befitting is what I named my company after, because 529 West 58th Street made me into the woman that I am today. And even though our home is no longer there, due to everybody tearing everything down, gentrification, all this other great stuff that's supposedly going on. It's a whole nother conversation. I felt like I needed to bring life into a dead situation, so I wanted to resurrect what the enemy tried to make dead. No, sir. No, sir. So that's why I decided to name my company 529 Management. We are actually a lifestyle branding and brand management company. We are a full service. Let's be clear, as of October 2020, we are a full service lifestyle branding and brand management company. Not only are we BBB accredited, not only are we Google verified, not only are we 411 listed, we bring results.
And that's the main thing.
Yes.
All through the madness. All through the madness. And one of the things that I like to share with the world, with our company, like I am Q Johnson. I am the rule-breaking brand person. I am Entrepreneur Secret Weapon to Success. But the difference between 529 Management and other companies, we execute unprecedented brand methods that shine a spotlight on hidden businesses. We position them. A lot of people like to just come out and just build out, and a lot of companies fail. A lot of companies never build up to build out, to have a foundation to be solid on. So we teach companies and brands the difference between their business and their brand. It's not the same thing. They're not interchangeable, but you can't have one without the other. So we offer brand development. We offer rebranding. We offer digital billboard services. We offer media placement. We offer content creation, email marketing, ghostwriting. We actually are the one-stop shop for a brand if you are in the brand development phase or if you are rebranding.
That is an amazing list of things that you do, and I'm tired of just listening to it. But I want you to highlight some of the companies that you took out of the embers and put into the spotlight. Things or brands that people may know but didn't know before you.
Well, in addition to us working with major brands and networks and things like that, such as Bravo, BET, all of those good things that I have worked with in the past, my passion is the people, and let's be clear, God's people, because it's a difference. So that's my passion. I'm very low-key, I'm very laid back. I don't do much. I don't like to be seen. I'm like Jay-Z, bump you, cut my check. I just like to be in the background. So I wanted to position companies such as myself, because I actually knew what they were going through. I have one client, she is really dope, and she was actually on the segment with Deborah Vines, and she is a 7-figure earner. Stephanie Elise, 529 Management is the engine behind that brand. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Joanna Oladipo Realty and Construction. This young black force is a 7-figure earner with 8-figure earner clients who's actually right now doing 16 rehabs at one time. Wow. So we are, and this woman is powerful.
Talk about busy.
I know, right? And actually my publisher, Joan Wright Good, who is a 7-figure earner, I've had the opportunity to partner and collaborate and bring things to her platform as well. But let's be clear. A lot of people say that they are 7-figure earners. The difference between the people who say it and the clients that I work with, they are documented 7-figure earners.
There's the difference.
There's the difference.
It could be like in Marcel in your mind, you see.
Yes.
Marcel said everything goes on in his mind.
But another thing that you kind of touched on is that just because we don't know you, just because you don't have a million Instagram or whatever, TikTok or all of those followers, doesn't mean that you don't have worth and that you're not a brand. Because as you said to me, we couldn't name some of the people that we know that's on there is broke. And you're rebuilding and rebranding now because we can't say publicly. I needed people to hear that and for you to say again, you don't have to have 100,000 or 1 million Instagram followers to be brand worthy. So reiterate that, because these people that you name, they're local people, but you've built their brand.
Yeah, see, this is what's amazing, and I'll use Stephanie Elise for an example. Stephanie Elise has built the brand called Pretty Girl Wasted. Stephanie Elise was one of the first black women in the Midwest to embark upon the waist trainer industry. So we have these people who, I don't know if you guys are reality TV watchers.
I am.
A lot of people say that Prima Donna, was one of the first, but Stephanie Elise and Prima Donna, they could sit at the same table because they neck and neck, because Stephanie has hit $1 million a couple times from that particular brand. So what we decided to do was, because people didn't know who Stephanie Elise was, we are now personally branding her, and we are bringing her from behind actually the 4 brands that she has that has made 7 figures, and we're putting her in the spotlight. But let me tell you what I love about God. I love how God will hide us, and we think that we're not good enough. We think that we're doing something wrong, but we don't understand that He has us in the secret place, and He is molding us. He is positioning us. He is getting us ready for what we were told that is ours and what we deserve. But what a lot of people fail to realize is a lot of stress comes with that as well. So He has to build you up, and you have to be covered in the full armor of God from head to toe to be ready to take and receive what He's given to you, good or bad.
Well, there's so much wealth and worth in the world that's unpublicized.
It is. And I love being hidden, because you know what that does, Charmaine? It keeps people out of my business, but it keeps people patronizing my business.
Go ahead, Evangelist Q.
I know you are just giving us the word, the business. So tell me this: if someone who's listening, who to me you sound like you cost $1 gazillion. So what is there? Do you need a lot of money to begin to launch your brand?
What I always suggest to people, do your research first. If you have a product or a service, understand who you want your product or service to serve. Do your research, check your demographic, see what they like and see what they don't like, and don't make what you offer about you. If that's the case, you continue to sell to yourself.
Right.
So do your research first. And I also encourage people to hire experts. Now, even though I'm an expert in branding, I have a coach, because coaches need coaches. And if anybody, to me, who don't have a coach, I won't hire them anyway. Because sometimes you get people to let you know you whack. And that's okay. You're falling in certain areas. But it does not take a lot. It takes faith. It takes God. It takes your research and how much effort and time that you want to put into what's been downloaded into you, where you want to take it. Now, when you graduate to specific levels, even though we do offer brand development, we're not like $1 gazillion, but we like $1 million.
You know your worth. But my point for saying that is sometimes people shouldn't devalue themselves. Tamara was just talking about with her daughter about the time management. Time is valuable as well. So if you know your worth, you need to invest in yourself, in your business, because the results will manifest, and then you will make more than what you invested in. So we can't be afraid to say, I want it for $2. If it costs $200, invest in yourself. Know your worth.
People that come to me and say, well, Q, I can't afford that. And I say this with love. I love you, but you're not my client.
I understand.
I refuse to alter my business practices, because this business was built off of sleeping on my auntie's couch, sleeping on the floor in the Airbnb, repossession, losing friends, traveling to different states. Well, literally, I remember, you guys, I traveled to Atlanta with 5 cents in my pocket, and it took my friends 2 days to wire me some money.
Yes. Well, listen, Q, we're almost out of time, and you're a radio girl, so give us your ways to catch you.
I'm the queen of shameless plugs. All right, guys. You guys can find me at www.529management.com. You can find me on Instagram at 529management.com. If you guys want to connect with me personally, I am QUEJohnson.com.
Wow.
Awesome.
Thanks, Q.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Q. I know that you have
29
uplifted
stories.
and inspired everyone, and your story is inspiring. We continue prayers and blessings to you. Well, this has been an awesome show.
Yeah, 26 stories in a pandemic. I love that.
Yes.
Just that whole
You know
thing.
what? Pandemic has taught us to love more.
Yes.
To love harder. And I love y'all more, and I love y'all harder.
Thank
Hey,
you.
we love you too.
All right, believe us. As always, lead with love, land on love, and stay optimistic.